If you're a command line user, if you like using tools like curl and wget for querying API endpoints and web apps, if you've used a tool like Postman, but you'd prefer a terminal interface or a terminal user interface, or is it TUI, then there is an app that I'm going to step you through today that I think you'd be really interested in, and it's called Resterm. Now you can see it here. You can see it has a set of details across the top. We've got the main keyboard bindings here in your second row, and that it has 3 panes, 1, 2, and 3. It's an app that I came across today, and normally I wouldn't talk about something that I've used for such a brief period of time, but I'm seriously impressed by it. I think it's really well architected. It looks the part, it's smooth to use, and it's, what would you say, it's limited enough in scope that I think I can grab the essence of it quick enough and distill that I think it's worth showing. So let's have a quick run through. This won't be a deep dive into it and the various sort of facets and so forth of it. I'll do that in a later video. But in this video, what I'm going to do is give you the essentials of this is what it does, this is how to use it. So let's get going. One thing's worth mentioning, and that is if you look in the middle pane here, what it does is kind of wraps or uses .http and .rest files. Now, I'm not too familiar with those as yet, but what they are is effectively they contain one or more HTTP requests in what is essentially a text file. So if we have a look here in the middle pane, and this is a Vim-like editor, you can see that in this file, I've just got one request. At the top is a comment, which is shown by or delineated by the hash or pound symbol at the start of the line. Then I've got, on the next line is the core of the request, that being post, because it's going to be a post request to this URI, that being the local machine, the web server running on my local machine on port 8080, and specifically querying the /contact path of that app that's listening there. At the end, I could add in the version of HTTP to use, but didn't feel it was necessary in kind of getting to use the app and getting to know it. Now, on the lines that follow up until a new line, I've got here 2 headers, and those being essential because I'm making a post request with form data. So you can see the application www form URL encoded header and the length of the body, that being which you can see here. So you can see that it's going to send, when made, 3 parameters, those being first name, last name, and country. Quick thing, that is my name, so if you didn't know it, you do now. And I put Australia because that's where I am. And so what you can do, though I've had limited success with testing multiple requests so far, is you can have any number of requests in a file or split up requests into a series of files so you contain related requests together as opposed to one excessively large file containing all the requests. Now, what I'm going to do is step back to the first pane, and what you see here is a list of the .http or .rest files that have been opened in the app. At the moment, just one called test requests.http. And if I then tab down, you can see the requests, or like a succinct version of the requests that were read from the file. Then if I tab through again, you can see the full details of the request with a bit of nice color coding. I'm not sure I'm a huge fan of red, but green, blue, light green, even yellow, but by the by, maybe I think there is theme support for the app, so I'll come back to that later in a future video perhaps. And then if you come over here, similar to Postman and other tools, you can see the details of the response to the request in a variety of ways. So here, and I really like that it's done, first is the pretty print or the formatted version. So you can see, if I get the mouse there, you can see the headers sent back with the response. So the status was 200 OK, so it was successful. The size of the response body, the URL that was queried, and how long or the duration of the request. And then you can see the body of the response nicely formatted, so it's, at least for this slightly older man, you can read that easier and kind of see what it was. In the raw version is exactly the same thing, just no highlighting, no formatting, no nothing. So I guess pretty can be really helpful if you've got a pretty decent or long JSON response, for example, and you just want to make it easier on your eyes to read it and quickly scan it. Then you can see the header, like all of the headers that come with the response, not just the essential ones. So in this case, the content type, the date, the host, and the typical X powered by, which is sent by PHP's inbuilt web server, which the app is being powered or run by. Then, and this I find really cool, I only came across this just a few minutes before recording this video, and that is a list of all of the requests that you've run in this session. I'm pretty sure it's this session. I don't think it's kept across sessions. Now, if you have a quick note down the bottom, you can see a set of pagination controls. You can't get to them because there's no mouse support or trackpad support, which logically there wouldn't be, but that's still cool. I want to give a bit of a shout out to just how, like, a specific example of how nicely the UI is put together. And that is that you can get a list, but they're nicely space separated. That is of the previous queries. They're nicely space separated. They highlight when you move, when you use the arrow keys to move between them. And then to get to the next page of records, you just press the down arrow from the last record on the page. And then your note down here would move to the second page. And we're at the first record on the second page. If we do that again, we then go to the third page. Now I'm going to try, because I haven't done this yet, if page up and page down work. Nope. No. Oh, sorry. I was actually pressing a different key. Yes, they do work. So you can use page up and page down to move through pages of records. Nicely done. And home and end work. So this is the last page because I pressed end. If I press home, then we go back to the first page. So yet again, I'm continuing to be really, really impressed by this app. I really, really like it. Now, I'll come back to that in a second. We're going to step over to the first pane by tabbing through. What you can also do is press Control Enter and run it. You can see here there was a brief flicker indicating that the request was being made and the response was being received and processed. You can see down here in the bottom left corner the HTTP response from the most recent request. Let's see. Yeah, this I've just noticed too. I'm kind of learning as I'm going through and doing this video as well. This focus element indicates where you currently are. I'm not sure perhaps why they felt the need to do that, maybe as an extra way of reiterating where you are or telling you what that pane is, which perhaps would work really well for getting to know the keyboard bindings. This is actually starting to make more sense because I guess the focus is we're now in the editor and the mode is view. So if I maybe press I like Vim, now that makes more sense. So I don't know if I said it before. If I did, just skip over this bit, just scrub forward. This pane here is the editor pane, and it's a Vim-like editor. And I say Vim-like because I believe it has, well, limited Vim functionality if you're familiar with Vim. And so you can kind of move between it. You can see you've got a blinking cursor. You can move up and down. You get a line highlight as you move on to each line. You can move forwards and backwards. I don't know if there are, like how deep the functionality goes, but if you press the question mark, you can pop up some key bindings And it seems like, bear with me, I'm scrolling through this for the second time. What can we do? Oh, here we go, here we go. Yes, we can do a bit. I'm going to have to learn some of these. Oh yeah, it looks like you can do, don't leave me. Yeah. Yeah, I guess I see why they say sort of Vim-like, because you've got the basic motion keys, word motions, character motions, start of line, end of line, etc., etc. Oh yeah, top of the buffer or top of the editor and bottom of the editor. I won't go through these in detail. Don't worry. Oh, undo and redo. That's pretty cool. Find character. No, so this is. I see what they say Vim-like. Sorry for people who don't like Vim. Oh, and a bit of searching. So that's pretty handy. That would make editing larger files pretty good, or pretty easy. So I'll come to all of these in a later video. I might kind of break them down into groups. So if we just close that with escape, let's just try. So we'll sort of go to the end of a word, or we go to a word, we go back, jump down. What can we do? Can we do last? No, we can do undo. That's pretty cool. I thought it said we could do some searching. Where's searching? Bear with me. This is a bit of fun. Search. There we are. Shift F. All right, let's try this together. Oh, now that's interesting. We can do Control R for a regex. We can go back to no. Sorry, what was that? Control. Where are we? We'll scroll down. Shift F. So let's do that. I was looking for a way to move back from the regex mode. Oh no, just Control R, Control R. Wonderful. I hope you're bearing with me. This was going to be a shorter video than this. Anyway, let's look for first. And there we are. Let's look for... Oh, no, sorry. It keeps the last search. So length. Let's do that. And then let's do one more time. Escape is cancel, but it doesn't take the text away. That's interesting. Let's do a regex and do... What are we going to do? 1, and we're going to do 5.3, which isn't kind of really an effective regex, but whatever, you get the idea. Anyway, this has been a whole lot of fun. So now let's get back to running a request. So you can see here, I'm going to make a post request to this URI with these details. So if I press Control and Enter, it's run it. If I then tab over to pretty, you can see that's the body of the response. And for complete transparency, what this endpoint will do is just send back in JSON format the form variables that were sent to it. So it's kind of just, what would you say, send and bounce back. Though this has been evolving over time, because if we go through and we step right down to the first request, it was very different. Oh no, sorry, I haven't gone right to the end. Not method not allowed. I think I was there. Yes. This one, I don't know where I got this from, maybe in the documentation, was say hi to mum. So this is the last bit I'm going to show about the app for now, which is that you can go back through your previous requests, anything that you've run, which is kind of cool. As long as you run them within the session, we'll run it. Now, actually, that should have run it. It ran it previously. Oh, sorry. What it does is it reloads that request into the editor. And so then with Control Enter, sorry, if I go up to the top line of the request, we can then run it. So I guess the top line indicates, or maybe within the request, indicates that you're, yeah, that's it. Okay, so just to clarify, here would be, you're not on a request, you're kind of moving to perhaps a future request, but going to here is anywhere with, you can run a request from anywhere within the request details. Anyway, that was a longer video than I'd planned to make, but I hope you enjoyed this intro, this kind of very effervescent, excited intro to Resterm, finding features and functionality on the fly and getting excited by them. If you love the command line like I do, if you're a bit of a super keyboard warrior, I'll say that I am a bit of a keyboard warrior. and you're testing APIs and web apps, then you're really going to like this app, I'm sure. Beautifully designed, really well thought out. Love the colors. Yep, I'll have links as always to everything, including to Resterm naturally in the notes for this video and everything else that I've covered. If you like the video, please give it a thumbs up. If you're not subscribed yet to the channel, please do that. Always helps. I like making videos like this, and I hope you like watching them. Otherwise, it'd be awesome if you'd share it with someone who you think could get value from it. And I'll see you in the next video.